Welcome to the Lookout Cookout, celebrating the history, heritage, people, and places of the Cape Lookout area of North Carolina.
Today's episode of Lookout Cookout is brought to you in part by Lookout Adventures. If you're looking for a less crowded fishing excursion, or you want to hop from one of the necks of the Outer Banks' beautiful Barrier Islands, stay on the boat for a personalized dolphin watch. Maybe you just want to book a private sunset cruise for you and that special someone. Let Lookout Adventures be your guide. With many full and half-day options to choose from, there's an adventure waiting for everyone. For pricing, gift certificates, and more information, visit lookoutadventures.com.
Welcome back, guys. Thank you for joining us again on this week's edition of the Lookout Cookout.
Yeah!
I am Levi.
Happy to be here. This is Opie. How you guys
That is an energetic Opie across the table for
I'm having
me.
a good day. I don't know about you. How are you doing?
It's a good day. It's weather's nice. We're knocking out some recording. This is always my favorite time in the office is doing recording with you because it's just so ridiculous.
In my mind, I feel like if we complain about how hard it is and it makes us look prettier, but you know what? I don't care.
Yeah.
It's not always easy. It's not always difficult, but I always enjoy it.
Yeah, it's always fun because it's a different mindset from what we do on a daily basis. We can kind of...
It's the only time I feel like I can goof off and be like, oh, it's okay.
Yeah, it's part of the charm.
I'm not really putting on an act
It's my
for
character.
Radio. Yeah, that's this is my whole gimmick behind my little radio personality. No, I'm an idiot pretty much every day, all the time.
Mic's on or off, if this was my job, this is how I would act.
How often you hear me in the other room and I'm just going off about something and you're like...
So much.
No microphones.
You talk to yourself a lot.
A lot.
And I do the same thing. I just do it a little
It's hard
quieter.
to get intelligent conversation with anybody else. Oh! I'm an idiot. I told you.
I don't think we used the bell at all last episode. I'm very disappointed.
It's easy to go overboard. I try not to.
Yeah, we do gotta keep it contained. Otherwise, people get tired of it, as if they are already.
The overboard bell ringing for whatever an outtakes episode comes up or whatever.
Which our good friend editor Caitlin has told us she's
already started on one, hasn't she?
Yeah, she started on her off time. She started an outtakes episode.
I'm screwed.
Yeah, exactly. That's why
it gets worse than this. Oh, no.
We've told her well, that's fine. We're completely fine with her doing. I was like, we get veto power over any clips that she uses.
You say that. I feel like
she's gonna put it out.
I'm gonna come out looking like a moron anyways, and I'm okay with that.
Yeah, whatever. I mean, the only person that has to be okay with it is our boss. So as long as we don't get fired,
he's
for
happy.
it, it's
I'm
fine.
thrilled.
Yeah. And actually, speaking of Caitlin, we revealed her to the world on Instagram today.
If you haven't already seen the entire team, we have pictures that float around. Most of the time when anything gets posted, though, it's relevant to the episode,
right.
And it includes our guests and whatnot, or if we're in the area on something, and just out supporting whatever.
For those that don't know, quick recap. Basically, we have Levi and Opie. We are the hosts and kind of the faces of the podcast, the faces for radio, as we famously say.
Luckily for the listeners, it's mainly just the voices and a little less of the faces.
And we have Mike, who is our boss, and I think he's credited on our site as the producer, and that's essentially what he is. He's the one that connects us with all of our guests. He does all the scheduling.
He does a lot of that off the air on the stuff that's not recorded, a lot of the legwork.
And in the early days of the podcast, he did all the editing and stuff as well, and then that got passed on to another employee that works in our office named Caitlin, and she now does all of the editing, and she's kind of our behind the scenes worker.
Anytime we reference anybody who's not currently in the room talking with us, it's the one of the two of them.
Yeah, exactly.
So
we refer to our editor.
Wonderful souls.
Yeah. So we have revealed her face to the world on Instagram, which we were talking to our boss, and I think we're gonna kind of start doing more on Instagram as far as more personal stuff with you and I, just for people out there.
What happens all the time? We come in on a Monday and talk about what we did with the weekend, and it's why didn't we take a picture while we were out and about all over town?
Because I know right now, obviously, we're both married. You have kids, so planning stuff is difficult. But we both want to.
Usually pretty active doing something, even just a walk down the waterfront.
Yeah, go to some festival or whatever. And then we both have talked about trying to hit up some Morehead City Marlins games sometime this summer. So definitely,
it's a great time. I mean, not that it's a bad time to live in the area at all, but it's a great time. Summertime.
It's beautiful.
Marlins, various fishing tournaments. We've had Big Rock on one of our episodes. with Miss Crystal. She came and told us all about that.
Yep.
I mean, there's just so many wonderful things to do in the area
Yeah.
already, just nature-wise. You just go out in the town. But with all the businesses and activities, it's kind of prime season with the summertime and the weather.
Yeah, it really is. So if y'all don't follow us yet, check us out on Instagram. I think we're the Lookout Cookout on Instagram. I think we're the Lookout Cookout on everything.
Pretty
The Lookout
much.
Cookout on Twitter.
Yeah.
The Lookout Cookout on Instagram.
If you look out, cook out something, and it's not us, then put a the.
Yeah,
The word
exactly.
the in front of it. The Lookout Cookout. Or just go to lookoutcookout.com. There's links all over on that.
for all our YouTubes and stuff. But yeah, definitely check us out on Instagram because we are going to be kind of getting more active on there, which we already are. We announce episodes and things like that, but I think we're going to get a little bit more silly.
Yeah, keep us on our
toes.
toes and make sure you tag us back or tag us in something we need to check out, or if you're in an area that you're at like you mentioned, maybe you're at a Marlins game.
Yeah.
Just take a picture, take a selfie, tag us in it.
Tag us in it. Let us know. Yeah, I mean, we love hearing from people, and we love when people, even people who don't listen to the podcast, we love when people are doing things in the local area. Yeah. Speaking of the local area, we are continuing our conversation with local business owner and entrepreneur, Mr. Clarke Merrell.
Overall man about town.
Yeah, he really is. But Mr. Clarke Merrell, owner and operator of.
It's probably easier for us to name the things he doesn't.
Yeah, he doesn't run the Lookout Cookout yet. Yeah, but Cirque 81, Beaufort Olive Oil Company, Twisted Spoon Yogurt Shop, and Dank Burrito food truck. Owner operator of all those things, and this is the conclusion, the thrilling conclusion, part 2. We get into a lot of different stuff. Like if you listen to part 1, which if you haven't, you should go back and listen to it. If you listen to part 1, you'll know that we kind of bounce around on topics. We don't focus on one business for a particular amount of time.
Long story short, if you've already listened to it, but just a quick recap. We kind of got an idea of where Clarke got his start and where his mind was at before he had all these businesses.
Yeah, exactly. His upbringing, his education, and then we kind of get into the circus stuff. Obviously, the Cirque 81 is his longest business, so that's a bulk of it. But we do talk quite a bit about the food truck and about Twisted Spoon, Olive Oil Company, everything, and then just kind of the area in general. We talk about that for a while as well. So.
He had a lot of insight. I mean, just having moved back to the area, there's a lot of things that have changed while I was gone, and a lot of things are still the same that I may have forgot about or didn't know that much about. And I mean, he's pretty much grown up here his whole life, like a lot of us. I can imagine a lot of our listeners as well.
Yeah.
So it's easy. It's nice to learn and hear about his take on everything and how it's all influenced everything that
absolutely. And you can definitely tell like this, it seemed like we didn't blindside him with the question, but when you asked him like, why is this area important? Like, it's not that he hadn't thought about it, but it was almost like the answer was obvious. Like he had never thought about it because there was no other option to like, be somewhere else. So we love that.
Why would there be any other choice?
Exactly. So we love that. We love people who are passionate about the area and, just really love the area because we do. So that's the whole point of
we don't kid around about our pride for the area. We're legitimately happy to be here.
Absolutely. Yeah. But thank you very much, guys, for coming back and joining us for part 2. We're going to throw it to a break real quick. And then I think, Opie, you're grilling something up. It's part 2 of our kind of ascension towards something that compares to anything Clarke Merrell does.
Cue the teeth chatter. Stick around, guys.
This episode of the Lookout Cookout is brought to you in part by IslandTraders.com, your source for the highest quality name brands and casual fashion.
Not only does Island Traders have amazing retail stores in both Beaufort and Atlantic Beach,
but now they also have a super clean and modern online shop that will blow you away.
Shop online to take advantage of web-only specials, a huge selection, and even free shipping with orders of $100 or more.
You can't always make it to the beach to shop at Island Traders, but you can always hit the website for some top-quality retail therapy, island style.
So stop by IslandTraders.com and get some great stuff for you and your family.
Island Traders.
Because island time is a state of mind.
All right, welcome back from the break, guys. It is Levi. I'm still here. It's still the same episode. We haven't, teleported to some other part of the world.
I need to work on my witty. No, this is who what I don't know where I'm going with this, but
no,
hopefully you're picking up what I'm laying down.
It's one of those things like it's difficult to bring in a section over and over to try and switch it up.
If it's not obvious, I hate for it to be redundant and to do the same thing every time. And sometimes I get it. Yeah. Sometimes A lot of times I don't.
Yeah, I understand. But so we continuing our kind of in part one, we did a barbecue sauce.
The sauce.
Yeah, which was delicious, and that was kind of our attempt at doing something semi-related to Mr. Clark's.
It was kind of inspired about the whole,
whole food
particular
truck
the food truck.
Yeah.
With the previous year's winner.
But at the same time, not doing something that tries to emulate what he does in any way, because it's not. We're not going to do that. So
very admittedly, am naive when it comes to cooking.
Yes.
I don't try to hide that. I don't try to make excuses. I'm very upfront about the level of my skills. So, at least with me in particular, you have somebody of Clark's caliber on our episode.
Yeah.
It's kind of intimidating.
Yeah, we were gonna ask him to do it, kind of give us a recipe to use for this section, but then it came up in the interview. We asked him like what he cooks when he's at home, or no, we didn't even ask him. He just came up on his own like he doesn't cook at home, and we're like, in our heads, we didn't say anything about it, but in our heads we're like, oh, there's that.
Yeah, we're not getting on the cooking segment on this one.
Yeah, so kind of moving on, the barbecue sauce was kind of inspired by the whole food truck thing. Moving on for this week, we're kind of playing off of the burrito taco thing, but kind of in a different way from what he does on Dank
exactly.
Burrito.
Aside from Clarke and specifically the Dank Burrito food truck, I mean we've done fish tacos.
Yeah, I believe so.
Before, and we've done things similar in nature.
Yep.
And we didn't want to completely rip him off or try to use one of his recipes or anything and just put our spin on it. That was too easy. So let's try and be a little more original with it.
Yeah, take our own take on what kind of stuff he does.
Yeah. So what we decided to go with was grilled portobello mushroom fajitas,
which sounds delicious.
It does sound delicious.
I like portobello mushrooms. Now, if I'm not mistaken, portobello mushrooms are the giant ones, right?
Pretty much.
The giant mushroom caps that you see, and then you can slice them.
Which a lot of people are kind of hesitant on mushrooms. I say kind of expand your palate. It's something that's good. And the neat thing about this is I'm kind of the veggie guy in my house. I mean, my wife and kids like their share of veggies as well.
Right.
But they tend to get more excited about the steaks.
Mostly meat eaters.
The meat stuff. And I kind of like the mixture with this. So the great thing about it is if you guys check the link that we'll have up on our website, as always, it's mainly I guess I would call it a vegetarian.
Yeah, there's no
recipe
meat in the default recipe.
Yeah, but the great thing about this is, like, at least in my house, is this is good in addition to something like your chicken or your steaks or anything like that.
This can be your main course, or you can do it as kind of toppings to add on to something that you're doing. And for going back to portobello mushrooms, for people who don't know, if you season them right and cook them right, they're delicious.
Oh, they're delicious just by themselves.
Yeah.
And then you throw them. Pretty much, I like almost anything you can put on like a burrito or fajita or
anything you can wrap in a tortilla. I'm down with.
Basically, it's just something about putting it in a tortilla that just makes it that much better for some reason to me.
It's a better version of a sandwich.
I think I like how portable it is. I can just walk around and stuff my face.
It's all wrapped up. Yeah, it's great. I am in complete agreement. Burritos and any kind of tortilla wrapped food are delicious.
With all that being said, and you guys can reference the link on our site,
right,
and include or disclude as little or as much of this as you want. Sometimes everybody's taste isn't always the same,
right?
But you just start with your mushrooms, and then you have one large yellow onion, 2 green bell peppers, a quarter cup of extra virgin olive oil, so 1/8 of a cup of balsamic vinegar, tablespoon of chili powder, teaspoon of salt, some minced garlic, probably about 3 cloves, depending on how many people you're feeding, and then some flour or corn tortillas themselves, of course. And then personally, I like to go with either the goat or the feta cheese.
Oh yeah, God, I love
really any cheese is good. I mean, you can go with like just cheddar or any other mix. But the feta to me is kind of like where it's at, where it kind of.
I love the crumbly cheese.
Yeah, and like kind of, I guess in my house, the kids think it's like a special treat when Daddy's busting out the feta cheese tonight
in the tub instead of in the bag.
It makes me wonder, like, wait, did I ever invite Levi over to my house to eat? You seem to know me too well. But basically with this, as a lot of times, you just want to make sure that you don't overcook anything with the veggies, and especially the mushrooms being the main factor of this recipe. It'd be very easy to burn it.
Yeah, well, that's the beauty of cooking veggies too, is you can undercook them all day long and it doesn't really affect anything.
No, you can eat them raw. It's the nature of a vegetable.
Yeah, but overcooking is a slippery slope. It's very easy to overcook veggies.
Exactly. So with the mushrooms in question, in particular, you're going to make sure you go with like a medium to a high heat. You don't want to overdo it. Again, if it's not cooked long enough, you can always go longer, but you can't really backtrack if you overcook it.
You can always add more. You can't take any away.
Pretty much you just throw them on there. You're going to want to make sure that you probably maybe even go with the cooking spray just to make sure that the veggies tend to stick a little more.
Yeah. Especially if you got something with like nooks and crannies like a mushroom. So, and you can either cook them whole, cook the mushroom caps, I guess, whole, or you can go ahead and cut them in strips like pre-cooking. It really doesn't matter. You can always cut them in strips after you cook them. So it's really personal preference. But usually when you buy portobello mushrooms, they are already cleaned.
Typically.
It's usually just the cap, but if they're not, you want to pull the stalk off because it's going to be tough and not edible, and you're going to want to...
It's not the most delicious part.
Yeah, it's real like hard
mushroom.
and woody, and it's just not great. And then you're also going to want to kind of scoop out the like gills on the underside of the mushroom. Like I said, a lot of times when you get them from the grocery store, especially if they're already like individually wrapped like in plastic, that'll already be done, but just double check.
Yeah, I like to run my vegetables underneath a little bit of water anyways. Sometimes depending on where you got them from or pesticides or dirt or whatever, it doesn't hurt. Water's not going to hurt the vegetables.
Yeah, well, there's always been that myth floating around that mushrooms like absorb water. Like you're not supposed to wash mushrooms because they absorb water and it makes them like waterlogged. Every like chef and cooking show that I've ever watched says that that's a complete lie.
Yeah. If you disagree with us, then you don't have to. We're not saying you guys.
Whatever. Yeah, go ahead.
But on that when you heat again, it's a medium to a high heat.
Right.
With the mushrooms, you're gonna throw them on there for about 15 minutes. You're only kind of high. You have to flip them once.
Right.
If you're flipping it more than that, you're probably getting to the point you're going to overcook it.
Yeah.
About 15 minutes, probably on both sides. Again, flipping them just once. And a nice little touch too, if you want, towards the end, you throw the tortillas on the grill for probably 15, 20 seconds, 30 seconds tops.
Not much. Yeah.
Not very long. Get them nice and warmed up. And after you got all your vegetables cooked, again, you can go with cooking as much or as little of these as you want. If you want to throw them on raw afterwards, personally, I prefer sometimes raw onion over the cooked onion.
Nothing wrong with
it. So I would probably leave that off personally.
Yep.
But after that, you just throw it all together, and if you've got your meat as well, make sure that you kind of keep those separated until after they've been cooked.
Yes. Cross contamination. It'll get you.
Yeah, I mean, and I always feel dumb for saying it, but at the same time, I know there's been situations at home where it's like I didn't even think about it until I was put right in the moment. So
absolutely,
I like to mention it while I'm thinking about it to everybody.
It's always best to mention it, even if it's redundant. Yeah, cross contamination will get you. Cross contamination knows no race, creed, or color. It will get you regardless.
Levi, the eloquent one of the two. I'm just the goofball of the group. So yeah, you said it better than I ever could have imagined.
But yeah, Opie's talking about, these mushrooms, you can just cut them in strips, throw them into a tortilla with whatever, some crema or whatever you want to throw on top, or you can throw in some shredded chicken or things like that into the tortilla, throw the mushrooms on top, serve them on the side. It doesn't matter. If you cook some mushrooms with some olive oil, some salt and pepper, they're gonna be good no matter how you do them.
Fajitas, tacos, anything like that, that's kind of how we've always done it in my house.
Yeah.
You cook whatever you got to cook, whatever's got to be prepped, you prep and you put it in some little dish, and then you more or less buffet style, you go and include everything that you want or don't want. So
yeah, exactly right. I am probably gonna do this weekend because it's supposed to be warm this weekend. I need to break my grill out again. This is gonna happen. So we're going to send it to a break. We're going to send it to a break. In that break, I'm going to go start grilling. When we come back from break, you guys, the listeners, can listen to part 2 with Mr. Clarke Merrell. So stick with us through the break. We'll be back. This episode of the Lookout Cookout is brought to you in part by Above It All Studios, covering all of your video recording and photography needs, offering studio portraits, on-location shooting, HD aerial video, and much more. Book them for your next family reunion when everyone is together. Schedule an engagement photo shoot to capture that special moment forever. Visit aboveitallstudios.com for more details.
Yeah, I mean, the burrito truck's been cool. The truck employs 6 people, basically full-time.
Right.
Okay, so you guys are like on the road every day with Sunday and Monday? Is that right?
Yeah, well, it just kind of depends. We roll Sunday sometimes. But, so, like, I mean, if we want to cut to the truck, we'll start talking about it.
Oh, yeah, it don't matter.
Yeah, so, like, so the truck, man, for me, like, came out of, I don't know, like, I'm a big fan of, like, self-contained units. Yeah. What I mean by that is, like, mobile homes, not like RVs, like campers, like things.
Yeah.
Like it's like a Swiss Army knife. Like you can go places and like you got what you need. Like for whatever reason, that was like really cool to me. And when I was like in high school, when the restaurant was burned down, like for some reason when I was 16, like I wanted an ice cream truck. I don't know why. Like I just wanted. Like,
I don't think you're the only one that's ever had that dream.
I feel like that was like an obtainable like business. Like I didn't need I felt like at the time, $1,000 was a ton of money when you're 16. But
Oh yeah.
you know what I mean? Like I felt like the startup cost was relatively reasonable. Like I could do it by myself. Like I just wanted an ice cream truck. So my dad's like, write a business plan, blah blah blah. So like I put a plan together, went and like toured like the Mayola plant, like trying to see what my options were for like novelty ice cream. Anyway, it never panned out. We never got an ice cream truck going. And then it was kind of like the hot dog cart thing. Like it's just cool. You got this cart, you got dogs.
Yeah.
Some of them have little grills and fryers on them. Like you can tow it. Like it's cool.
Let's say it makes sense, like hearing all this and hearing about how active you are with everything. Like it makes sense that you'd be on the go.
Yeah, like maybe I never thought of it from that. But yeah. So like I always just knew that I wanted like a truck, and like that was kind of like in the back of my brain forever. And then, with Circa having a little bit of success and being able to save a little bit of money, kind of I took the same approach as I did for the Twisted Spoon, and I bought the truck. You know what I mean? And then I was like buying stuff for it.
Because at this point you probably had to outfit it too, right? Like you just didn't buy it ready to go.
No. Me and my brother built it.
Wow.
Yeah, so we built it. I got a warehouse that I rent that we built it in. And so I bought the truck. Actually, the story for the truck, so it all got started because I wanted it. And I was looking for probably a year. Those step fans are hard to find. And I found this used one up in D.C. See, in D.C., the food trucks can only be 18 foot from bumper to bumper because of the parking.
Okay,
It was real tight
Makes
in the
sense.
city. This truck is 22 foot from bumper to bumper, so it wouldn't be able to fit. So this guy bought it, and it didn't work. He parked it in this, like, it's like envision like a movie, like you pull down this gravel road and there's like all these like fenced lots.
Right.
What it is a tow lot. Tow truck companies rent these like lots, and that's where they bring their catch.
Right.
But it looks like it's some like mafia mob run, like people are living back there in like these broke down RVs, like
Right.
underwear hanging out in the
These are like
lines.
season 1 of Breaking Bad.
I mean,
That's
like,
I remember.
It's just like real shady. Anyway, so I found the truck on Craigslist, negotiated. I think it was like to file like. I think he was asking like $6,000. I think I offered him 4, and he was like, "All right, come get it." And I was like, "This is a deal." It was like the truck I wanted. It was like a diesel, had low miles. Like I was like really, like I thought it was just like a home run. It was like
Right.
cheap.
Then you roll up to like hills with no eyes.
yeah.
So I sent so it's in DC. It's like 5 hours away.
Right.
I sent Robert and one of my buddies. He's a dishwasher of mine. He's been working with me for 15 years. Thomas up to DC to get this truck. They get up there like the coordinates in the GPS, and it's really like in Maryland, like right outside
Right.
Forestville, Maryland, and they roll up, and then Robert's smart, like Robert's really intuitive. Robert's like, where the hell are we?
I'm not getting out of the
You know
car.
what I mean? Like this guy knows that like we're coming with money, like this is it, like we're gonna get waxed back here. Like nobody would hear a gunshot. It's like, you know what I mean? Like imagine like a scrapyard where there's
Yeah,
like
there's plenty of trunks to hide you
Yeah,
in.
exactly.
Everything screaming no was there.
So he gets up there. Anyway, he finds the guy, and the guy's from another country. I don't even really know where he's from. Anyway, so his English is a little broken, and they start talking, and they get to the point where they want to take the truck on like a test drive. So Robert like pulls out, like they're idling like 15 miles an hour down the dirt road, and like they come to the road and they're like coming out to the main road to take a right. So like he like gets out there and like he accelerates to get going up to speed. And Robert was like, the truck was like so violently shaky, like it would not go above 25 miles an hour. Like it was like sounded like it was getting ready to just like blow up. And Robert's like, something's not right. So they turn around and they go back. Robert calls me and I'm like, damn, like y'all drove all the way up there. Like that's like a wasted trip. Like that sucks. Like it just sucks. So like the guy makes a couple phone calls, and it comes to find out that the truck was parked in front of another vehicle. And this guy and his brother shared a lot.
Mm-hmm.
And the guy got on a forklift, and he lifted the box truck up with these forks to move it to get another vehicle out behind it.
Because it was blocking.
Yeah, so he bent the drive shaft.
Oh,
that
wow.
was that. So like we diagnosed it and figured it out. So it took about another week The guy got another drive shaft in there, jacked the price up on me. I had to pay for the drive shaft.
Of course.
You know what I mean? So it was like $4,300 now with a trip up. But this time, I had to cook at the restaurant the initial time. So this time, Robert and I went, and we ended up coming back with the truck. But it was like the same thing. It was like, so we got the truck, we drove it back. I ordered the window off of eBay to like, there was a custom built window, and like I went, you know, with a pad, like drew the dimensions of the truck, and I like ordered all the equipment to make sure, because it had a generator built into the side of it, which created like another like wheel well looking thing inside the truck, you know what I mean? So like we had to contend with that for like equipment. Anyway, so we got the truck like laid out, and I wanted this truck to be like a utility truck for me, because if it was my first and only truck, I wanted to be able to cook like whatever I wanted on it.
Right.
So it's not really set up to do just burritos. We got like a steak grill in there, and I have I got a fryer in there, and I got a 4-burner with an oven. There's an oven on the truck. Like it's like a kitchen, like full legit kitchen on that truck. And if it was just gonna be a burrito truck, I could have scaled it back a lot.
Right.
And
so at that point, you hadn't even decided that you were gonna go.
well, I knew I was gonna do burritos, but I'm saying since I was only gonna have one truck, like if I wanted to do like a wedding from Circa, I'd be able to roll the truck out there and use it as a tool. But yeah. So Robert and I came back, and so I bought the truck in like late August, September, and it was like my winter project. You know, I knew winter was coming, and I didn't want to like dump a bunch of money in it. You know, so we got $50,000 tied up in the truck. You know what I mean? Ish. Yeah, I don't know if I should say that, but you know what I mean? We built it, and like that's what it costs. You know what I mean? The truck plus everything we put into it. You know, if you buy a truck of that like caliber, you probably spend $80,000.
I think that's probably something a lot of people don't realize when they see these food trucks. Is like you can't just like grab a truck, throw some stickers on the side, and then sell hot dogs out the window. Like
yeah, I mean,
it's
there's
not
a lot
that
of
easy.
regulations on it. You know what I mean? So it took us like through the winter to build it. We would build it on like nights and weekends. You know what I mean? We'd get like equipment in and go. Install it. Like my brother and I. So like we gutted it. You know, because it was a maintenance vehicle for the Virginia public school system. So, and it was a glass truck specifically. So on the side of it, it had this enormous like glass rack, aluminum glass rack. That was the whole length of the truck. Like we had to rip all that out, and inside it was kind of the same. So we just gutted it, and then we just started over. New installation. We put in like plywood. We put up FRP, but we installed the window, the hoods. You know, I called like Dean's Gas from Beaufort. They came around the gas lines for me. I had a buddy that's a welder. He welded like the tanks for like the propane. And, like it just started kind of taking shape. And one of my waitresses at the restaurant is a graphic designer. You know what I mean? So her and I collaborated on the wrap. You know, because I knew what I wanted. I wanted like this urban like graffiti look.
Right.
And I had a couple of different people like, shoot me some ideas. And I tell you, like I had something in my head, and nobody could really hit it. So like I started looking on Google, and I was like, this is what I want. So like we started like. Was something, and we just started manipulating it and working it, and got to where we are with it. So it's pretty cool. But
I gotta say, it's one of the flashier trucks, and that's why it stood out. Like before I even knew it was yours or that it was from basically my hometown. I saw it in Raleigh.
Yeah.
I don't know. It must have been right in the beginning because it's only been around at this point about a year.
Yeah, exactly.
So I mean, I remember seeing that one though. And not all the trucks at the rodeo in Raleigh are always that.
So that was kind of what I wanted. I wanted it to like when you saw my truck, there was no mistaking it for any other truck.
Yeah, you
it's
knew
not
it was
just
that.
yellow. It's not a UPS truck. That's Dank Burrito. You know what I mean?
Sure.
And that's just kind of where it came from. You know, like the name Dank Burrito came from a joke with me and a couple of cooks right when we opened Circa. It was like the first week. You know what I mean? We were talking about something. The word Dank Burrito came out, and I was like stored it in the back of my head. You know what I mean? And I just knew I wanted a taco truck. Like I really enjoy that type of food.
Yeah.
There's like times that go by, like a week, 10 days go by that I don't eat on the truck, and like I'm looking for it just like anybody else.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
And so you have I don't know if you want to really even call it a problem, but you guys have a situation where you sell out quite often. I see online like we're out for the day.
Yeah.
I mean, I guess that's a good problem to have.
Yeah, we bring what we think we're gonna sell. You know what I mean? And like when it's gone, it's gone. You know what I mean? Like we're not trying to be like jerks about it, but like like
how much can you carry on a truck though?
well,
It makes
exactly.
sense.
How much can you carry on a truck? And then like the ideology from the restaurant to the truck is the same. Like it's like the integrity and just like food and like quality, like that's and flavor, like that's what we're about. So like we're not gonna jeopardize any of that to try to stretch it to you know what I mean, to feed more people.
Yeah.
We've gotten into instances before where like we could have sold the damn hubcaps off the truck, but like you know what I mean? Like we're just like, like we started mixing and matching like slaws with proteins and like omitting things that typically go in it, and we're like, we just gotta stop because like these people aren't gonna experience what Dank Burrito was meant to be experienced like that
Right.
way. You know what I mean? Like this is like some creation on the fly. Like
And it may still be good, but
yeah,
that's not,
you know what I mean?
not what
or
it is.
maybe bad.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And like their first Dank Burrito experience is like something like we've never done or never will do again.
Yeah.
So like at that point we're just like sorry we're out, close the window and go on. But the truck's been fun, man. Like it's been so basically what I'm getting at is it started as a hobby. You know what I mean? Like when we first started the truck, so we built it.
See if you're doing a lot of it in the off season too. That's
Yeah,
something just to keep you
it was
busy.
slow. Me and my brother built it. We, our first kind of debut of the truck was like both for wanting food last year.
Yeah.
Like, and it was like a volunteer, like charity thing. But people got to see the truck and they were all like stoked and we were pumped to like have it out there. And then we just started kind of hitting the street with it and just trying out spots. You know, and first on the truck it was me, Robert, and Natalie. So I had my managers because we didn't have a team yet.
Right.
You know what I mean? So like Robert doesn't have a cooking background. You know, he wasn't a chef. Like, so Robert would like roll the burritos, like Natalie would work the window and I would be cooking. And then it got to a point where we're like, well, damn, like Natalie's like away from the oil shop a lot. I'm away from the restaurant a lot. Robert's away from the yogurt shop. So like, we had to hire more people to work the yogurt shop. And then it's like, Natalie was on the truck probably full time for like 3 months, 4 months. Like, so we finally got a window girl to get on the truck. And Robert just started like picking up like what I was putting down as far as like, how I wanted the food to be and taste, and and now he like hits
It sounds like it almost worked out in his favor because if he'd have known any other way to do anything, like he might have been trying to like, well, I'll do it my way,
Yep,
right.
when you're not looking or something.
Yeah, and that's
he knows nothing else other than how you do it though.
Yeah, and and he likes good food, and he'll tell you, you know what I mean, like that needs salt, that doesn't, like we kind of have very specific profiles that we're looking for, and even though they're just burritos, and we really like to make sure that like when we're doing our burritos, like we put the sour cream like over the whole burrito, so like when you bite it, you don't just get a big mouthful of sour cream, like
Right.
things are kind of distributed, like we think about that kind of
Right.
stuff, and it's important. But,
Just because all the ingredients are in there doesn't mean that's the way that's meant to
Exactly.
be tasted
Yeah.
or sampled or rather.
Exactly. So we got the truck going, and then like, just over the last year, man, like the momentum's just been just like rolling, and it's like cool. Like I was talking to somebody the other day, but like the truck just has like this essence of swag about it that's like unexplainable. Like,
Yeah.
like we are super customer service like oriented, but like. You know what I mean? We can kind of be ourselves on the truck. Like, you're not trying to kiss everybody's butt like you are at a restaurant. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like, you okay? Is it hot? Is it cold? Is
Yeah.
it soup hot?
You're not trying to upsell
Yeah.
like
I mean, we're on a
cocktails
truck.
or
The reality is we only have so much food. Like, this is what it is. Like, if we can modify it for you, we will. But like, we prefer like, order it the way it's meant to be eaten.
Right.
If you have an allergy, like, we'll try to accommodate that. We have a little sticker on the truck. Like, we can't guarantee because we make everything in a common kitchen.
yeah.
You know what I mean? So like, if it's gonna kill you, don't eat on the truck. You know what I mean? That's
Right.
kind of my thing.
Yeah.
But it just kind of has grown. I mean, it's just been really a beautiful thing. Just like watching this truck, like we set our schedule out, and we would, my first gig that was like a real gig. So we did Buffalo Wine and Food, and then we set up at the Twisted Spoon for a family fun day. We'll
All
do
right.
those occasionally, bounce house and all that, and bring.
I'm sure there are
families
people
out.
at the time that didn't even realize the two were associated.
Exactly,
Yeah.
exactly. But then, so like our first kind of gig was like Hannah's house down in Beaufort. Like Gray
Right,
knew we were
right.
on the truck, and he was like, "Bring it down here. Like we'd love to have you." Blah blah blah. So like me and Robert's girlfriend and Natalie, like, I think a couple of people, we were down there that night, and like we popped the door open, like we were playing like rap music on the truck, like we got purple ground glow underneath it at night, and like people were just outside the truck like hanging out and like just dancing and like just eating. Like we made it $300, and like we thought we were like.
You guys were the stuff.
Cat's ass, you know what I mean? Like, we thought it was awesome, man, and like it was fun. Like we had like done it, like that was our first gig. Like we went home and like broke the truck down and like cleaned it up, and that was cool, testing recipes, making sure this is like what we wanted, and man, now like people are coming out of the woodwork like asking us to like be places like Cherry Point, like MCCS, like we did them last week, and it's been like this crazy paperwork process to get on base, as you can imagine.
Oh
but,
yeah.
But sometimes I'm like, is this even freaking worth it?
I'm sure a lot of those guys are doing everything they can to help you out.
Yeah, they have done a ton to get us on there. A ton. It has been like really cool. It's tough, man. They have like the same rules for like Boeing as they have for like a small business.
Yeah.
They have like just common terminology for all their stuff. And anyway, so, but it's, the wedding scene, you know what I mean? The festival scene, just people have really been super supportive of the truck, and it's cool, we're feeding old people, we're feeding young people, we're feeding men, we're feeding women, the kids, my son's nicknamed it Bessie from Cars. You know, where's Bessie? It's kind of funny. I was like, what, Noah? Like Bessie? What? Anyway, and so it's been really cool to see like this transformation like happen. Like our inbox is just like flooded with like requests. You know, people want us out in Jacksonville. People want us in New Bern. People, and man, there has been a lot of times that people have traveled, I would say, well over an hour to eat on the truck.
Oh yeah.
It's super humbling, man. Like we don't take anything for granted. This stuff could be gone tomorrow. Like my dad's restaurant, it burned down overnight. You know what I mean? And I kind of keep that in the back of my brain. You know, like,
At any time, this could all be taken away.
Like God's giving this stuff to me, and it could be gone in 2 seconds. You know what I mean? Like, and that's just how it is. You know, like we've been fortunate and blessed to like be in the position that we are. And we try to do what we can with what we got. And each little division has its own like little setup, you know. And the burrito truck is like our fun bunch, you know what I mean? Like we just have like crazy sayings and like it's just fun, man. And we're looking into other expansion. You know, we bought a second truck to build out. You know, and I would.
Is it gonna be like Dank Burrito 2, or are you gonna try and go like something
no,
completely different?
No, it's gonna be Dank Burrito, man. I'm a big fan of like the redundant kind of thing. You know, like if Big Dank Burrito goes down, you know, it's in the shop getting oil change. Right. We're committed to a wedding, or you know, and you know, so we're doing a lot of. I call it the street. We like to work the street like we do, but then somebody has a birthday party they want us at. We've done a lot of change of ranks.
Oh yeah.
New Bern, people like getting promoted, like the wife hiring the truck to come out and defeat everybody. Weddings. My sister got married at the Islander in Mile Isle in September, and that was my wedding gift to her. I catered her wedding.
Nice.
That was Big Brother. You know what I mean? They ate tacos and burritos. It's not pretentious. Everybody had a good time.
Yeah.
And I can guarantee you one thing: the food's gonna be good.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
As if nothing else, it gave you a peace of mind, right?
So like, you're eating out of a burrito out of a full wrapper out of a paper boat, but it's good.
It's gonna be delicious.
It's gonna be better than that dry ass chicken that you would have gotten. You know what I mean? But
Well, we kind of skipped over the whole Rookie of the Year thing. I mean, you guys,
so,
for anybody that doesn't know, you've only been around about a year now at this point.
As of this recording, almost exactly a year, I guess,
it's
right?
been right about a year. Yeah, I mean, we're pumped about that. It's something to talk about.
How did that come about? Is it something you had to enter? Did somebody volunteer you?
So like the honest and true answer is I was on Facebook and I got a buddy that had a truck up in Raleigh. Andrew Shaman has got Soul Taco. He had a Soul Taco truck. It was a bright green truck. I think he had it for sale. He's looking to get into a brick and mortar to do a tapas restaurant. So I wish him.
Who do you learn that from?
I wish him luck there. But he had a post on Facebook was like nominate me. So there's a website and like a company out of Chicago called Mobile Cuisine.
Right.
They kind of have like a real like the handle on like the food truck stuff,
right?
News and all. And
they're kind of like a hub for that whole scene.
Yeah, exactly. So like it was like vote for me or nominate me, food truck rookie of the year, blah blah blah. And I was like, well, what is this? So I clicked on the link and I was like, we should do this too. So like
pull the rug right out from under him.
Right? Yeah. So like that was like where I saw it and I was like, well, what is this? So I could put it on Facebook and I was like, vote for us because you had to get nominated and then they had the finalists and then they got voted on.
Right.
So like I put a post out there, a couple of little things, Facebook links, Twitter, and all that, and I forgot about it. It was like right before Christmas.
Right.
And
I mean, essentially, you can put it out there, and nobody like nominates you or whatever the cutoff point was.
Yeah.
That would have been the end of it. You would have never even.
Never known.
Done.
Yeah. So then. That was that, and then we're like, all right. So then Christmas happens, all that. We're busy. The restaurant's busy. Family time's busy. All of that. New Year's Eve is one of our busiest services at Circa. It was like January 7th. Robert is a little bit younger than me, like 2 or 3 years younger than me, and he's like real into like he's smart as crap, man. He's like into like the social media and the Twitter, like. I'm a little not as in tune to all that kind of stuff. I can find you something on Craigslist in a second. The Twitter.
You have your avenues, and they are what they are.
You know what I mean? Yeah. Like Instagram and like and he's always been like my laptop's broken. I take it to Robert to fix it. Like he's just into that.
He's your go-to guy.
Yeah, and like it's funny too because he's like Robert likes like he's into like urban music, like rap music. Like he listens to everything, but like we have a lot of similarities, and it's just fun. But he's good at that. Anyway, I'm saying that because. He was on Twitter one day, just like randomly. He was on the truck. It was like January, and it was kind of cold and slow. Right. He's like thumbing through Twitter, and somebody like gave us like a shout out or hashtagged us or copied us or I don't even know what you call it.
Right.
But and said congratulations to Dank Burrito like for being nominated in the top 10.
Right.
And we're like,
Wow.
well, what in the world?
At this point, you
Yeah.
like forgotten about it.
Yeah, exactly. We're like, what is this? So like he started looking and he like texted me and he's like, dude, we've been like nominated and we were in last place. There's 10 trucks. We're in like we had 7 votes.
Wow.
And the
You
other
didn't even
truck-
know to promote yourself at that point.
Yeah, so then like the truck that was in the lead was at like 1,500 and I was like, damn, like that's man.
That's a big gap.
If nothing else, at that point, we're just like, let's not lose by this great of a margin.
Yeah, so it's really not like we didn't really have to do anything like cook or like demonstrate. It was
Right.
more of like a popularity contest.
Right.
Kind of like
Yeah, but it's
just a poll.
naturally known. I mean,
Yeah.
you
But
know.
I mean, it's cool. Like I don't discount it at all. But like people are like, what'd you have to do for it? Like I feel like if it was a competition, like we got put up to cook or like serve people or anything you want to compete with, like I'm game. Like sign me up, we'll do it. But so it was more of just like I'll click like.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So, but man, like we just like started like just blasting it out. I mean, Circa's been around for going on our 6th summer. We've like accumulated this like really big email list. You know, we've compiled this list of like 5,000 emails, and
Right.
you know what I mean. We have like all the social networks from all the other businesses, and like you know, me being in Moorhead and all the businesses and stuff. Like I know a lot of people,
Right.
a lot of business owners and people, and we just started like we call it like rallying the troops, man. Like Colorado County can vote, man. Like,
Oh,
you
yeah.
know what I mean? Like we can vote on some stuff.
I was gonna ask if like you felt like the small town almost helped things.
Sure,
you know?
I
mean,
do.
like everybody
You know what I
rallies
mean?
behind everybody. Look at when East Carter won the
Yeah.
championship just a few months back. Like,
Yeah.
I think the whole town was up on Front Street.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, I'm saying like it's January, we had nothing to do. Like everybody voted their butts off, and it was cool, man. Like and like just like we had, so like voting ended like the 14th. So we like it had been open for like 3 or 4 weeks.
And
It
you
was open
found-
like 2 weeks before we found out. So we
Yeah.
only had like 7 days
Wow.
to do this. So it was just like emails and like we call them like industry partners. Like we have like I don't a lot of people may or may not know this, but like the county, like the area has like a PR firm that works with them to like publicize the area.
Right.
You know what I mean? And like we call them like industry partners. Like we reached out to those guys and like
If there's ever a time you need to pick up the phone, that was the time.
You know what
yeah.
I mean? Yeah. So we're like, let's do it. And like, I mean, we shot like way ahead, and like it was crazy because everybody was like, "What's going on?" Like they're cheating. Like they come out of nowhere overnight. But it's like we didn't know about it.
Yeah, you
You
came
know,
up.
like, we found out about it, and like we just started like.
Yeah.
I mean, I think there was like at one point, like on a post, we had like almost. It was over 200 shares. You know what I mean? And the shares just kind of keep like
Yeah, they
keep
piling.
growing, yeah.
It's a snowball effect
It's
at
like
that point.
viral. You know what I mean? Like, and it was like cool. I mean, we didn't get anything out of it, but a bunch of TV interviews, which is cool, man. Like, we've been doing our thing for a year, and I mean, we're over 7,000 Facebook followers. You know, they engage a lot. You know, we go to the page to ask them for like opinions. You know,
Yeah.
what do you
Yeah.
think about this, that? You know, they
I was
engage.
gonna say, I don't think I came across in all my homework and trying to come up with information and research and stuff. You guys don't even have a website
No,
for
Dank Burrito doesn't have a
It's all
website.
social
It's on
media.
my list, man. It's on the list.
Which I mean, I really don't think it's. I don't think it's really that. It's not hurting you at all.
No, it's not hurting us,
yeah.
but I feel, so Circa requires so much as me as like a cook and like a
Right.
chef, and the olive oil is doing what it's gonna do. The spoon is the spoon. I feel like the Dank Burrito is a idea that could potentially be scaled.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Oh, and I'm thinking, you would need a website for like a landing page, but we've kind of just thrown out the buzzword, franchise, blah blah blah, a couple times on Facebook, and we've had some like response. You know what I mean? So, I feel like when we're ready to take that leap, we'll kind of have some interest, but that would be where you need a website to kind of
Right.
franchise information and all
Right.
that. But
Yeah.
that's something that I would love to see the direction of the Dank Burrito. We, just kind of what we stand for, and I kind of feel like it represents like it's funny because like Robert and I we definitely are totally polar opposites on some things, and then like we are very similar. I think I haven't known Robert all that long, honestly. I met him in Raleigh in 2000. Probably 6 or 7.
Right.
You know what I mean?
Right.
So like it's a long time, but it's not like it's not a childhood friend.
Yeah.
You know, he's from Southern Virginia. You know what I mean? And but we really like hit it off quick because we we were just like talking and like it just.
When
like
things
we're-
click, they click.
Yeah, it's like we're
Right.
brothers, man. And Anyway, so like it's cool. It's just like it works, you know. Like what we stand for, like we like kind of that like urban like look and theme and like kind of the attitude, like the graffiti, like inside the Twisted Spoon. I have a buddy who's a graffiti artist, Ryan Mills. He's a tattooist artist up in Jacksonville at Elite. He's awesome. He's funny, man. He got a big scraggly ass beard and tattoos. He looks like a hillbilly, but man, he can draw and he can do anything. Watercolors, and he's like looked in the mirror and done like self portraits before, and you're like, oh my god, like, this is crazy. You know what I mean? And like he's just super talented. Anyway, I had him do some, he calls it rattle can graffiti, like spray paint, like on canvas for me. We hung up in the Twisted Spoon, like. I just like that stuff, man. Like, you know, like I mean, I listen to all kinds of music, but I still listen to like rap. I don't, you know what I mean? When I was a kid, I had big speakers and went boom, boom down the street. I don't do that quite as much anymore, but you know, like I'm open to like everything. But like the whole kind of like urban, like look, urban, like modern industrial, like with like really good food, like that's kind of like what I would envision like a brick and mortar Dank Burrito being.
I mean, that's one of the things with everything we've talked about is how much you bring, I'll call them associates, you know, be it friend or business relationships, but you bring so many outside perspectives and so many different flavors to everything, no pun intended.
Yeah.
But, you know, I mean, it's, to me, I know when I moved away from here 10 years ago, it was definitely a different scene, and I kind of see you as like a trailblazer, almost kind of like new blood, because like I wouldn't have imagined any of the things you have going on would have been as easily pulled off when I was a kid.
Yeah,
so.
Sure. Yeah, I mean, I told people, they're like, you know, everybody wants to like congratulate me and praise me and thank me. I get thanked all the time for Dank Burrito. Thank you for having the truck. You know, like, you know,
without them,
I just tell them,
where
you know,
would you
like,
be?
yeah, I'm like, I'm just a cook, man. We just make good food.
Yeah.
Like that's my thing. Like I'm always like, I'm just a cook.
Yeah.
I'm just a cook. I just got ideas and a good food, and you know, I'll tell you, I guess one thing that I have that some people might not, I'm willing to put my nuts on the chopping block. You know what I mean?
Right.
And I can do that because of my wife. You know what I mean? Like in her, like, and you know, what's the worst that can happen? You lose all your stuff. I mean, that would suck. But you know what I mean? Like so many, nothing venture, nothing gain. You know, so many people are like scared, and I'll tell you, you know, it's nerve wracking a lot. You know, and you know,
So you do a good job of making it sound easy.
Well, you look at all the people you're responsible for now. You know, all my employees. You know, and all the households that I support. You know what I mean? Because of that, they rely on me. You know what I mean? And I mean, it's cool, but at the same time, it's kind of scary. But I try not to think about it from that perspective too much. But you know, like I know what I like. Like I feel like I'm a pretty decent cook, and like I can bet on myself a little bit when it comes to that because I have control over that.
Right.
You know, so you know if we can get a decent location with like a good product and like, you know what I mean. I feel like businesses, man, when you open a business, like they're designed to like work. Like you really like, you know, if they fail, like something's, you know what I mean. Something's not always right. So like if you can't always be like scared. I mean, there's calculated risk, and I've learned over the years, and I've watched people make some kind of silly mistakes, but you know that are detrimental to their business. But you know, like work hard, like put out a good product, and I feel like that'll carry you a long way.
Right.
I mean, it might not like take you all the way, but like that's, you gotta start with that. And I feel like all of our businesses, I mean, the oil shop, you know, it's a premium olive oil and vinegar store. I mean, we can talk a whole bunch about the olive oil industry, just how adulterated it is. You know what I mean? Like it's cut with so much crap. Like, you know, you look on the label and it says extra virgin, and it's not extra virgin.
Right.
You know what I mean? Like
they're selling the idea more than actual, like
I mean, it's
factual,
just garbage.
legit,
You know, the
whatever.
stuff that we have at our store, 100% extra virgins. You know, the flavors. So that's like premium. You know, we buy, you know, super delicious yogurt that we're using at the shop. You know, the products we're putting through Circa is good. The burrito truck. So that's kind of what we stand for. Just like the quality and like whatever we're gonna do, we're gonna try to do it well. You know. And people are catching on and they pay attention to that and they like it, you know, and they sort of expect it, you know, especially I feel like we've set the bar high in all of our businesses and we got to work our butts off to maintain it.
I'm gonna say you set a pretty high standard for yourself, so, I mean, and it shows. But that's why I guess everything's been so successful. Yeah. As well, if you were halfway doing any of it.
Yeah.
You know.
Yeah, I mean we definitely work a lot. You know, I mean I got to make myself kind of like take a break because I mean there's just something to do every day. I mean 7 days a week. I mean I wouldn't even know what to do in like a 9 to 5 environment. Like I would probably twitch. You know what I mean? Like I just don't. You know what I mean? What I find joy in, I guess other people don't. You know.
So when your wife answered our email, you were just ecstatic that you had something to do.
Yeah. Well, I forgot.
Okay, good.
I was gonna go to Wilmington today. I gotta go down there to get some stuff, and she's like, "You got to interview at 1." I was like, "Yeah." But I had meetings this morning. I was meeting with some town officials about a brick and mortar spot that we're looking at. That may or may not happen, but we just trying to get do all of our due diligence.
Without giving too much away, where is the future hold for everything? I mean, you mentioned that you're trying to get another second truck.
Yeah, so I mean, like I said, the Dank Burrito in itself has just kind of been an organic, slow growth, vehicle. You know what I mean?
Right.
We built the truck. It took us 6 months. No hurry to build it. We finally got it out. We're kind of doing our thing. We're taking things as it's coming. You know what I mean? So that's kind of just that's what I'm gonna maintain. I don't want to force anything because honestly, right now, I mean, I'm busy enough. I don't need to get busier. But I will. But I want to make sure I'm doing the right thing. I'm not in a hurry to go throw a bunch of money at something. You know what I mean?
Right, just for the sake of doing it.
Yeah. I mean, what's going on with the burrito is working. You know what I mean? So brick and mortar may be the next step. Or another truck might be the next step. We'll see. You know what I mean? I've already bought the truck to build. When I'm going to build it, I don't know. You know what I mean?
Right.
So,
like you said with the second truck, I mean, that could even be less about expansion, just more about kind of that safety net of if the main truck goes down, you've got that backup.
Exactly.
So you've always got it as, even if it's not an expansion plan, it's a backup plan.
Yeah, worst case scenario, you got a backup, and best case scenario, you can be in 2 spots at once.
Yeah.
That's right, yeah.
It's a win-win, so to speak.
Yep. So, I mean, the burrito is for me is a slow, long-term, it's something that I'd like to grow. I mean, you look at the industry right now, I mean, Chipotle leads, that segment, the quick service. I mean, they're $1 billion company. They do a great job putting out fresh food. Our food is way better than theirs, but, they kind of represent what we're doing well, I guess, I'd rather have
If nothing else, it's like a recognition for somebody maybe hasn't heard of you guys. You can kind of give a similar comparison.
Exactly. I mean, I'd rather than be up there than McDonald's, but
lesser of evils.
From a food standpoint, I mean, from what they're doing, representing food. McDonald's got a great business plan. They've been at the top of their game forever, but.
Well, it goes back to talking about what's most important, the business part of it or the food part of it, with the business kind of as a side. Yeah.
And the guy who started Chipotle, he went to culinary school and all of that. I don't know if you know his backstory, but I mean, he was looking to open a fine dining restaurant, opened up one Chipotle, and next thing you know, McDonald's actually invested in them. That's how they got big.
Oh wow.
Yeah. There's a whole Chipotle story. It's pretty interesting. But what we do is just different. Our food is we have a lot. Our flavors are more bold.
Right.
Our spicy's a little spicier, and our sweet and soy, it's just a little bit more bold, and it's good. You know what I mean? So. Hopefully, everybody's really enjoyed it. I mean, we've had a handful of people that,
you can't please everybody all the time.
Everybody.
Yeah.
But I mean, I think we're 99.999%.
I think that's in the grand scheme of things. I think we'll just call that 100.
Yeah.
I don't know anyone that takes a Yelp review seriously, anyways. So if you see something bad, no biggie.
All these home critics. Yeah, it's like one of those things. If you didn't like it, shut up. Don't tell anybody. Nobody likes the little tattletale.
Well, people are much more likely to say things bad publicly than they are anything good.
Yeah.
If people want to have good things to say about something, they'll just keep going back to that place. That's how they do good reviews.
They're just miserable in their life. Typically. But so I mean, Dank Burrito's been fun, man. It's been an adventure for sure. I mean, it's taken us to Raleigh. We just were up there on Friday. Up at Campbell Law School, they had.
I wish I'd have known. I was in Raleigh this weekend.
Really?
Yeah.
Well, it was just
you probably would beat me.
It was just on Friday. They, I don't know exactly who organized it. There was 3 trucks that had signed up, and 1 truck double booked themselves. So he called us and hey, can you bail us out? You know what I mean? And then we talked to the person putting on the event, and they're like, oh, we're glad you guys came. I think we'd rather have you anyway. Blah blah blah. And then. But it was mock trials at Campbell Law School downtown.
Oh, yeah.
You know what I mean? They did mock trials. There was kids in from all over the country. So
it was a big weekend. I think they had Arts Explosion going on this weekend. I mean, there's stuff all over town.
Exactly. Fayetteville Street was loaded. So we went up there. We drove up Friday day, got up there midday, fed the kids, and turned around and came right back.
Right.
You know what I mean? But we did
6 hours on the road practically. I know that drive better than anybody.
Exactly.
Yeah.
So we're going back up to Raleigh for a rodeo June 14th, I believe.
That's nice. Any of our Raleigh listeners, make sure check that out.
Yeah.
So I mean, it's good. Last, and we challenged ourselves. The last rodeo, May 3rd, we fed about 620 people, which is a lot.
That's a lot of people.
A 4.5, 5 hour window. Yeah. You know what I mean? So
that's moving through people.
That's moving. You know what I mean? But the team killed it. It's funny. People look at the truck and. We were working 5 guys on that truck. You know what I mean?
Right.
Just nobody moves.
Yeah.
Everybody's just doing their station. But It's a production, man. We roll through some food on that truck. It's really cool.
Would you be able to comment or say anything? Like, is there like a community? Because again, being from Raleigh, as long as I live there, it's a little more accepted, or I don't know how I'm trying to word it, but it's something that's not as surprised to hear about up there as it is down here. As far as they even have food truck available, is there like a sense of community or like?
So the truck has been pretty well received. I think it's getting better. You know, with Atlantic Beach opening up the circle to us and then Cherry Point inviting us out there. I'll tell you, there's been a couple people who, it's not easy. Everybody thinks it's glamorous. They see the movie Chef, they watch.
It's like Tom Cruise in Cocktail back in the day. Like, oh, it's so easy and fun and anybody can do it.
Yeah, so they watch the food truck race on Food Network or whatever, and it's just not like that. You know, it's like restaurant work, but it can be even harder because you're on the road.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? It's like you're, you know what I mean? So you don't have the
hot.
access to everything. Yeah. Even though Robert's wiped my kitchen out of equipment, you know, he has everything he needs. But I mean, you know, you don't always have everything you need right then. So you really got to prepare, and it's just tough, man. Like I know of 2 trailers and 1 truck that have appeared in Moorhead in the last year, and all 3 are for sale right now. You know what I mean? Like, it just shows that, like, it's just not easy, and people think that it is. They think they're gonna build this truck up, come up with a really cool name, but you know, there's a lot to think about.
Well, I think that's even compounded even more when people see your truck, because they see Dank Burrito, like, you know, it's a fun name, you know, ridiculous color scheme. Like, they see that and they're like, oh, that seems like fun. Let's
30 people in line.
Yeah, let's do that. I mean?
Yeah, and it's not. You know what I mean? We have the reputation of the restaurant. So on the front of the Dank Burrito, it says Dank Burrito, a circa 81 project.
Right.
So that helps, that kind of just ties the 2 together. You know, and I wanted that on there so people knew the association, and they knew that we would, you know, just the standards of quality that we would put out.
Right.
You know, we get people comment on it a lot, but that's the thing is, like, so we had the backing of the restaurant, and the thing is too, I think with the truck is, like, I built it for cash, so I didn't have a loan on it, so I wasn't trying to service a debt, which was nice. And then, so basically, I didn't care if it worked or not. I know that's a terrible business plan, but, like, so we don't use the truck and it sits in my driveway. It's paid for, and I don't owe.
There wasn't any heat on you.
Yeah, there was no heat on me to, like, produce. So, like, taking that, like, that enabled us to kind of take the baby steps that we needed. You know what I mean? Like, so I have my other, you know, revenue streams from the businesses. You know what I mean, to take care of everything. And you know, I didn't go get a loan to buy the truck, and now I got $1,000 a month payment that I got to the bank, and I still got to pay my rent.
Right.
Like, I know a lot of people.
You got to rush things at that point.
Exactly. You know what I mean? Or you
unnecessary
just
pressure.
Yeah, I mean, it's like real estate or insurance. Like, you get your real estate license, like, you got to build that book, that clientele. Like, it just doesn't happen overnight. It's the same thing with the truck. So, like, you know, like I said, we employ a bunch, 6-7 people, and we've grown to that. You know, and I've seen other guys in town that have, you know, a 1, 2, or 3 man show. And, you know, if they get hit hard for lunch, because when you're doing a lunch period, you got to be able to turn food out fast.
Yeah.
People only have a set amount of time to take their break.
Exactly. So, like, if it takes you 20 minutes to get them their food, 30 minutes to get their food, like, they're probably not going to visit you again because they just don't have time. They don't have time, and nothing against you. So, like, there's just a lot of obstacles that can occur. Some of them you can help, and some of them you can't. You know what I mean? Right. So, you know, we feel like, you know, with our, you know, burrito and taco concept, like, it enables us to be quick. You know, I feel like our staff is trained really, really well, which enables us to be quick. You know, we, you know, really focus on, like, order accuracy.
Yeah.
You know, so, like, someone says no cilantro, like, we're giving them the product that they want. You know what I mean? So, like, so we feel like we do a really good job at that. There's just a lot of things. It's just not as easy as people think. You know, it looks really glamorous. You know, a lot of the stuff that we do looks really.
There's an artist I'm a big fan of. I won't name him in case I'm wrong with the quote, but he said something along the lines of "being cool ain't easy and easy ain't always cool."
Yeah.
Yeah, that's exactly what I think of when you're telling me about all this. It's like you can't just grab a truck and, like Levi was saying, and just put a bunch of bright colors on it and pull up, and people are just hand over money.
Yeah.
It's not that easy.
Yeah, you know, there's a lot of planning that has kind of gone into it, and just a lot of growth. You know, and that's kind of why I'm excited to see, like, where it can go. Because, you know, we call them our danksters, our followers, you know what I mean? Like, they're super pumped, and it keeps us pumped.
Yeah.
You know, it's like, well, damn, like, we did this, now we got to do something else. Like, we had soft crabs on the truck last week because I got a ton of some local soft crabs in, and it's like, they were pumped about it. And it's just like, we introduced that truffle mac and cheese. Yeah. You know, and, like, that is something that, like, I enjoy eating. And then Robert's like, well, let's do it on the truck. So we try it on the truck, and then I think people get naked for that stuff. Like, whatever. Like, they just love it. You know what I mean? Like, they just can't get enough of it. And, it's and it's just it keeps us just going. Like, what can we do on the truck, like in the capacity of like we got to be fast with it and all of that. The creme brulees. We've been doing creme brulees on the truck from time to time. I have a lady. She'll be 74 this year. She makes all of our desserts and stuff at the restaurant.
Wow.
She's been working with my family for like over 30 years. She's born in 1941, man. She at the restaurant 3 days a week, making all of our desserts. That's cool, man.
That's awesome.
Yeah, that's awesome. And it kind of ties back to you surround yourself with people that you trust and people that are good at what they do, and then you hold on to those people as long as you can.
That's
you
right.
grow with them.
Yeah. But so the truck's been fun, man. Like I said, though, it's people have tried it. Like coming into town, there's a truck in town right now. The guy he's a nice guy. I talk to him all the time. I actually eat on his truck all the time. Everyone's like, it's funny, man. Like, and I'll people will come up and read his menu and they'll start walking away. I was like, no, you really need to try this food. And like, it's maybe not the right way to do it, but like I try to validate myself by like, I'm the owner of the Dank Burrito. They're like, well, where's your truck? I'm like, yeah, we're not operating today. Like,
That's why I'm here.
yeah, eat his chicken sandwich. It's really good. The guy, he's got his truck out there and he just put it for sale and he's a nice guy. He's got a great product, but.
Just underestimated.
I just don't know what he was.
It's like you mentioned earlier too. Like you can't plan for everything. Sometimes there's things that just come up.
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, he's a one-man show, so it's gonna take a little bit longer to get your food, but it's really good. I mean, he's hand-cutting potatoes on his truck for French fries.
Wow.
There's a lot of restaurants not even doing that.
Yeah, and he's on a truck.
It's Southern Time Grill. I mean, I'll tell you, but I hope he. Yeah, I mean, he's got good food, and I just don't know. He needs money now. I think he cashed out a lot of his stuff. Like he put a lot of resources into getting his truck put together.
Right.
And I think he needs it to like work for him now, and it's just one of those things where it's just not working quick enough for him.
Yeah.
And, he had to put his truck on the market, which he does a good job with it, but it's just one of those things. It's not for everybody, man. Like I said, it's tough. He's got to like pay rent for a commissary while I own my own restaurant, so I got my own commissary. Like I didn't incur any more costs to operate the truck from that. You know what I mean?
Right. Like you incurred probably as the least amount of cost you possibly could have to get into it. Yeah.
Yeah. So we built the trucks. We don't have payment. We don't have to rent anywhere. Like it's just kind of like a subsidiary of Circa.
Yeah.
That's exactly what it is. You know what I mean? So, the truck comes to the back door every day. We load it up. It goes. We come. We break it down every day. Refresh. Regroup. Reload. We've got like certain shelves marked in the walk-in where we put all the burrito stuff. Certain stuff like in the dry storage.
Everybody knows to leave it alone, or they know right where it's
it's
supposed
just
to be
burrito
at.
truck, So I mean, it works. We're getting it down, and I'm real excited to see like what the future has. I mean, I know that Eastern North Carolina can only grow so much with I mean, we're gonna have to look into a little bit bigger markets if that's what we want to do, but. We got a lot of balls in the air, and we're just trying to just kind of feel out every one of what's
working, what's not working.
Like I said, Circa does great. Requires a lot of me, more full service. I think it would be a little harder to duplicate. You know what I mean?
Right.
If we wanted to grow, you know what I mean. But I got Robert and Josh and Natalie and Liza and all the other people that are coming up, and and it's funny as you read, a lot of restaurant group guys, they're opening up new projects just to keep their good help with them. You know what I mean?
Right.
People hit a growing point, within a certain company, and if you can't give them that next thing, they're gonna go.
At the end of the day, they have their own family and things to worry about and plan for.
Exactly. So
that's fortunate that you're able to do that and support everybody, with your umbrella.
Yeah. I mean, we do what we do, man. We and that's all we do. We try to be as good as we can be at what we got.
I mean, that's an accomplishment in and of itself. The fact that you enjoy it and it's a passion for you.
Yeah.
It's nice.
It's fun too, man. I take the kids to the yogurt shop. They have a blast. I cross-utilize a ton of the oil stuff at the restaurant.
Right.
So that's that cross-utilization. We use a lot of the stuff on the truck.
Right.
You know what I mean? Like the truck will go and park in front of the oil shop, and we'll do like collaborative events, with like even downtown, like Moorhead. Like it's like everyone just everybody's taking care of each other kind of thing.
Yeah. And then go back how you talked to trying to do like recipes at the oil shop and things like that. I'm sure you have firsthand experience of whether or not these recipes work or don't work. At
well,
the
also
restaurant.
speaking on that, we do at Circa, but we call them oil luncheons.
Right.
So we'll sell like 40 tickets for like 25 or 30. I think they're $30 now. and that includes like basically it's 6 courses, and that's your gratuity and everything. For lunch, it usually takes about an hour and 10 minutes, and so you come to the restaurant, and the whole menu is built around the oil and vinegar.
Right.
You know what I mean? And what we did with it, because at the shop, one of our biggest questions is like, you know, they taste something, they sample it. Oh, this is really good. What do you do with it?
Yeah.
All right.
You know what I mean? So we do the luncheons so people have an idea of what we do with it. Like
Gives you an opportunity to
chefs.
showcase it.
Yeah, exactly. You know what I mean? And then we furnish recipes for these guys. You know what I mean? This is how we made the pesto with. You know, so you make pesto with olive oil and, you know, basil and all that. So like, you know, well that's like strengthen the basil flavor with like our basil oil. You know,
Right.
or a little bit of garlic oil, like fortified is what I would call it. I don't know. Like, so. It gives us the opportunity to do that, you know what I mean? And people really get
It's
excited.
not just selling tickets for like a luncheon as much as it's
Cross promoting brands.
Yeah.
Well,
I
they
mean,
get a little like education on it.
like
too.
a
They can
demo,
take they
yeah.
can take that home and then
This is
try to
exactly what
recreate
it
their
is.
spit on it.
Well, it gives people something to do. We don't really do them as much in the summer. They're more like fall and like winter, spring kind of things.
When you got a little bit extra
Yeah,
time.
and people, you know, the people they always sell out. You know, they sell out really quick. We get a lot of repeat people. Time to time, if there's an availability, people will grab a new person will grab a seat. But people really are interested in what we're doing, you know. And it's cool for them to like, you know. So we do like a whatever pesto marinated chicken, and they can go home and like recreate that for themselves. And
Yeah.
you know what I mean. It just keeps them engaged, and then they can get into the store and we can showcase like new products and stuff that we have.
I think the word engage is kind of like the best way I can think to describe it, because you know anywhere else you just go and you have your meal and you go home, that's the end of it. You forget about it until the next time you go out or something, if you even pick the same place. But with you in that the situation, they can just take it and go home and do their own spin or try to recreate whatever they had there with you guys.
Yep.
So the engagement part of it is kind of like the most interesting part of it.
Yeah, and
to
well, and
me.
that's what you talk about having your Dank Burrito fans, your customers, just kind of being super pumped about everything. Like they are very engaged in everything you do. Like
They're very engaged.
You could have a small customer base, and because they're so passionate, like that small customer base could still keep you guys alive.
Yeah. I mean, there's people that like there was a post. You can post a page on Facebook. There was a post. There was a girl or lady that said she was in Goldsboro somewhere doing something, and you can go in there and look, but it was like I can't remember where she was, but she had said that she was from Morehead City.
Yeah.
And that person's response to her was, "You guys have the Dank Burrito truck." Like it wasn't even like anything else, like fishing, beach, bigger. Like her response was, "You guys got the Dank Burrito truck." You know, and like when we took it up to Raleigh on Friday, there was a post on the page. Saw you guys driving through Goldsboro. You know what I mean? Like it's just fun, man. Like we're driving down the road, people are like.
Good
Taking pictures of
association.
us.
It's like when I was living in Raleigh and I'd see the guy walk by with the sanitary shirt. It's like, hey, I'm from there, and like this guy doesn't want to talk to me. But then, you know, it's still that connection that you have with somebody.
I think everybody in Raleigh's got a sanitary shirt.
Oh yeah,
I'm pretty sure.
Everybody in the world has a sanitary shirt at this point. Yeah.
Maybe 2. But, yeah, so man, they support, they like, they share, they're pumped, man. It's cool. Like it's really cool to see that. You know what I mean? And where it came from, I don't know. You know what I mean? I don't really know. I mean, because you know, people, you know, like my circuit page has been around for a long time. We have like a third of the followers, and people aren't quite as engaged. Maybe because we don't work it as hard. You know what I mean? Me and Robert will work the hell out of the Dank Burrito page, but you know, like people like engagement. You know what I mean? They enjoy it. I feel like.
Well, it's an experience in and of itself. You know.
When we try to put relevant, we try not to just babble crap. You know what I mean? Like, you know, and we found that like people really get engaged with like short videos. Like we'll do like 20-second clips of like rolling a burrito or something, and you know people really tend to like that kind of stuff. You know, and it's got I like it. Like when I'm looking at other chefs in their restaurants, and like I wish I could see like a shot of their kitchen. Like what are they working with? What kind of equipment they got?
And me and Levi talk about it all the time. I can't cook crap in the kitchen, but you know, there's this documentary on Netflix. Well, it's a series rather that you know it's pretty interesting to watch just to see how it's Chef's Table. Yeah, it's like a 6 episode miniseries, I think. But I just like seeing how people work and how things are done. Whether my ability allows me to do that or not is a whole other story.
Yeah, it's funny, man. Like kitchen to kitchen culture. There's a chef buddy of mine shared a link on Facebook earlier that I reshared, but it was like kitchen lingo. And it's like a paragraph where like all the lingo is like used And like at the end, it was like, if you're not familiar with like Kitchen Talk, you might as well have thought that was written in Sanskrit or something.
Right.
Like,
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like, it's just funny, man. It's like this other like subculture.
You either know or you don't know.
Yeah. It's just funny because like I'm reading it and it's like makes total sense to me.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Like you're like, oh, what's the joke with the parrot? Yeah.
You know what I mean? It's funny, but.
Well, I mean, I appreciate all the time you've taken with us.
Yeah.
I'm gonna kind of hit you, I guess, here at the last minute with the cliche question. I almost is like, what's sum up your love for the area, like in
The
one
area?
kind of generalized
Yeah,
statement.
that's-
Like, what
yeah,
keeps you here? What makes you want to do all this stuff that you do
yeah,
here?
So.
Because obviously you're from the area. So.
Right.
Yeah, well, so we moved down here in the late '80s from Virginia Beach. So I wasn't born here, but I consider myself from here. I don't really have any memories of the Virginia area.
Right. You were young. When you
Yeah,
got here.
I was 7, so like I transferred out of 2nd grade to come to the 2nd grade down here, and I grew up in Emerald Isle. Like my parents still live there. I'm the oldest of 4 kids. My brother lives here. My sister lives here, and my baby sister, she got married to actually one of mine and my brother's best friends, and he's in the Coast Guard. So they're up in Cape Charles, Virginia, right across the
Right.
bay. So she's still pretty close. But I have my grandparents are here, family. And I mean, so many people just get sucked into the beach. You know what I mean? I lived in Raleigh for a little bit. I like Raleigh. You know, the amenities up there are great. The theaters,
Yeah.
everything. Everything in Raleigh
Raleigh's
is great.
awesome.
There's a lot
It
to do.
took me a while. I was pretty bitter about moving to Raleigh at first, and then I really liked it, and then I was kind of like reluctant to move home, but the opportunity just kind of made me move home. But I love the area here. You know, it's great. There's the fishing, the boating, and I was actually looking today. A guy, I can't remember his name, but he dropped off the Chamber of Commerce book, letter book, and I was just thumbing through it, and it was just like the photos of just the area and just different, like just dolphins jumping and just the boating and the sunsets and just everything about it just sucks you in, you know. And there's a lot of good restaurants around here. I mean, you gotta know what you want, but I definitely personally think from like a business growth standpoint, we're definitely gonna have to like, for any further growth, we're gonna have to like look outside of the town.
Sure.
You know, but I mean, everything else is, I love it. You know what I mean? And we, Circa has been good to us. You know, the people really got behind Circa at the beginning, and we've just, we just re-signed the lease at where we're at. You know what I mean? So like, we're here for
Things you
a
don't
lot
think about,
longer.
but I mean, it's got to be.
Yeah, you know what I mean? You know, so it's like families here, like, my parents are here. My wife's mother has a condo down here in Atlantic Beach, so like she comes down, and it's just a great place to be from, man. You know what I mean? Like Crotan's getting all these like great awards for their schools, and it's like, it's just where you're from. Like I said earlier, I know everybody here. You know what I mean? And
You feel like a part of a very big family when you're from
you
there.
do. You know what I mean? And like, and and the community is great, and to be part of the community, to say that you're community, you got to be active in the community. You can't claim community and not do anything. And I feel like, we really try to get involved. We do a lot of stuff with the Seafood Festival, and those guys, Stephanie, she's great. And, I mean, just like local connections, man. The guys over at Sound Bank, I've been banking at Bank of America forever, and the local branch sold, so I was kind of forced out. And, those guys at Sound Bank come and eat lunch with me all the time. They support me a ton, and I bank with them now, and they're just like, I have a couple of I got their cell phone numbers, and I call them for like stupid questions, and I probably annoy them, but like, I need that because I'm busy too, and it's like I got an answer or a question I need an answer, and they've just been so great. So just like it's a small town. Small towns are great in a lot of ways, and they suck in a lot of ways, but it's just a really neat place. You know what I mean? And a great place to raise some kids.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? I mean, there's. And my mother-in-law, she still lives in Raleigh, so we get up there. You know what I mean? And I like Raleigh. The museums and downtown, and but you can't.
They don't have everything we've got around here,
though. Like Falls Lake or whatever, and get you a sunfish or whatever they're called.
It's not the same.
Not the same. But, nah, man, we got it's a great area. It's growing. A lot of great people down there, so it's good.
It's growing in part to people like you.
Yeah. I mean, there's a lot of places to eat, and I don't know. I could call it forward thinking a little bit. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Andy and Trace and those guys over at the Circle, you know, they're really pumping a ton down there. You know, Trace is a cool guy. I like talking to him. He's got a ton of great ideas. He's a super smart guy. You know what I mean? Not to mention he's the mayor over here.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? But he's passionate about it too. You know, he travels a lot. You know, he goes up. They got a place up in Raleigh, I believe, and he goes up there and, you know, gets away, and he goes up to New York, and you know, he comes back with all these great ideas, and you know, just traveling. It is neat to bring that stuff back. You know.
Well, it's nice too, because like I feel like, especially when I was younger, maybe it was a little more closed-minded than maybe it is nowadays. So it's nice to hear all these collaborations and how much say-so everybody puts into the same pot. Because
I mean, they're getting ready to build one of the biggest skate parks on the East Coast here in Atlantic Beach. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like outdoor parks, like that's huge. You know what I mean? Like, what is it? I mean, I don't skate, so like I don't really care, but I think it's cool.
Yeah.
You know, like
you could go to Raleigh and be like, yeah, well, guess what kind of skate park we got back home?
Yeah, my little boy. You know what I mean? Like, I didn't have the opportunity to, like, we used to go down to Hampstead, but like, yeah, it's just cool. Like, I told you, man, I'm the third kid in my family. Like, I'm a big kid. You know what I mean? I still like toys. I got dune buggies. I like shoot guns.
He's got big boy toys now.
Yeah, they've gotten bigger, but like it's yeah, man, it's fun, you know, and there's a lot of good things going on here, you know. So
yeah, and hopefully the way it's going, hopefully it'll continue to grow, just continue to be good.
I mean, I've seen a lot. I'm sure you have too. You know, when we were kids, we had Jungle Land.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? The circle with the slingshot and
the Ferris wheel.
The go-kart track. That's where every teenager smoked their first cigarette. And,
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like probably had sex and drank beer down there too. You know what I mean? Like that's just where it was, and all the hotels down on the beach, and you know, it just kind of, you know, the real estate boom, everybody started buying up, thinking they're going to get rich off those oceanfront, and everything, then it imploded, and it's kind of been sitting vacant, and everybody's trying to figure out how to, you know, recoup or respawn from that.
I guess that's what's so hard, like for personally anyways, it's so heartwarming about here and everything we've talked to you about today is just the fact that so many of those old things that were such a huge part of like my life and a lot of other people my age that are no longer there now, but there's still a lot to look forward to. Yeah. And, you know, a lot of people that are trying to make a change like yourself.
Yeah. I mean, we're just trying to do, you know what I mean? Like I said, a lot of our stuff is like food kind of oriented, but you know, like food, like we talked about earlier, food's the way of life, man.
Yeah, but even if they're not going to roll up and after they're done eating their burrito at the truck, they're going to hang around and check out everything and hang out with everybody else. So, I mean,
but I mean, you know,
it's
like,
more than just that.
People are coming down here, family trips, vacations, and like, so we're, you know, in a roundabout way, a part of that. You know what I mean? Add to the experience.
Oh, yeah.
You know, I think that Atlantic Beach adding the food trucks, or not everybody's a truck, but adding food to the circle this year, I think it's huge, man, because I think it will. I mean, every business is going to pout and cry and womp womp womp, but you know, well, not every, but you'll have the ones that do. But the reality is that it's about experience. You get these people these day trippers, you know, Goldsboro, Kinston, Havelock, Jacksonville, even maybe day tripping from Wilson, Raleigh, wherever. They come, they drive all the way down here, they get to the circle, and they're battling for a parking spot if it's a holiday weekend or they're busy. They finally land a parking spot, so now they're going to battle for a spot on the beach. You know what I mean? And like, so now they're hungry. And, you know, they just opened up the beer garden there on the circle, which is cool. But, you know, so besides that, you know, if that's not what you want or whatever, they're busy. Like, you have no food options. So you got to pack up your kids and your family and go to where? You know what I mean? Subtropics, McDonald's, Bojangles. Like, so you're losing your parking spot. You're losing your beach spot. You're taking the time to leave the beach while you came to town. Yeah. So I think, you know, having the food up there is necessary. You know, people are going to be able to eat. And if they don't want any of that, then fine, they can leave, you know? But it gives them that option. Like, hey, like, let me, you know what I mean?
At least the option is there versus they've got no choice.
Yeah, the option's there to eat. And a lot, you know, and I feel with that, it'll build a better experience. Like, we had a great time in Atlantic Beach. You know, they're not going to remember, it was a pain in the butt to find a parking spot in the park. Oh, and then my 2-year-old.
Dad, remember that burrito we had? Oh, my God, and it was painted.
You know what I mean? So, like, I think it's good. I think it's smart. Like I said, you know, some people are going to kind of whine about it, but the reality is that they've had the opportunity to get down there and service that need. Nobody has. It's
like it or not, you want change. You got to do something about it. You can't just sit back on your laurels.
Yeah, exactly. So like, it's good. I think it's good. We'll see. You know what I mean? We're scheduled to be down there a bunch of days. You know, Chick-fil-A's got is scheduled to be down there. They'll be selling their chicken sandwiches. A little truck. Not a truck, it's a trailer, a pool line trailer called Jay's Place.
Yeah, I see it in Beaufort sometimes, Yeah,
they're going to be down there, and then Little Caesars Pizza. You know, and then they're going to have Kona Ice, and I think Cold Stone Creamery. I think Cold Stone. So you'll be able to get some sweet. You'll be able to get some. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
I just think it'll be good, man. Like, I don't know. And it. Other than the beer garden, I mean, who knows if like a restaurant is like can survive year round down there?
Yeah.
So like bring the trucks in and they leave. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
I don't know. I think it's good though.
Well, that's what it's like. Just going back to it, I think it's just nice to give people options. Like, if they don't want any of those things, they still have the option to leave and go get McDonald's if they want. But right now, that's their only choice. So
yeah, and like I said, like the experience of like coming down to the beach.
Yeah.
And I think it's just slowly going to get better. You know what I mean? The circle's developing. Trace and those guys are getting ready to open up like a nice Italian restaurant down there. Skate park's going to be cool. The splash pad's huge, man. Little kids tear that up, man.
Oh, yeah.
They love it.
My kids have been asking me about that every time we drive by.
Right?
Yeah.
My little boy calls it the Froggy Park because it's like one of those like frog
Right.
springs.
All right.
He's got every park name. He named him when he was little, and that's how he remembers him now.
Yeah. Now it'll never change.
Yeah, the Shevins Park is the wooden park.
Yeah.
The wooden park, the Froggy Park. We used to live in Mitchell Village. You got the park down there on the water.
Oh, yeah.
That's the Old House Park. We're gonna park by the Old House.
That's funny.
Yeah.
Well, I mean, I can't thank you enough. It's been fascinating. I could stay here and talk to you for another few hours. I'm sure you got things to do well. But let's go ahead and make sure we get a good plug for everything, at least as best we can. I know with Circa 81, you can go to your website at circa-81.com. I know you got some links to like Facebook and other social media. The Dank Burrito links are up there.
Instagram.
Yeah, and I double checked just so anybody knows. It's facebook.com/Dank Burrito, and on Twitter it's Dank Burrito NC is the Twitter handle. Yeah,
And that's right there on Highway 70 in Morehead City for anybody that's
Circa 81,
nearby.
yeah.
I'm gonna go in
Dank
there and check it
Burrito's
out
everywhere.
yourself. Yeah, Dank Burrito. Go to their link, and you guys update that pretty regularly as far as what your
or
weekly
you can go
schedule is gonna be.
Google and just Google Dank Burrito, and our Google Calendar pulls up.
Oh, even
nice.
better.
So that's
And y'all update that like at the beginning of the week,
each
right?
week, yeah. So like, people we've run across a couple people that don't Facebook, so they can just Google Dank Burrito, and it comes up.
It comes up. So you guys are taking every aspect to make it as easy as possible for everybody.
Yeah. I mean, that is the main. That's how you find us. That's our communication to find her. So.
Let's see. We got Dank Burrito. We've got Beaufort-Oliveoil.com. Again, you have 4 locations: one in Morehead City, Beaufort, Emerald Isle, and Swansboro.
Yep.
And then TwistedSpoonYogurt.com. You can go check them out. That's over by the Harris Theater in Morehead City on Highway 70 as well.
Not terribly far from Circa, really. A few
Yeah, it's
miles.
like a half mile.
Yeah.
An eighth of a mile. You can see one from the other.
Yeah, pretty much.
Yeah.
Eat at one and then go catch dessert at the next.
Yeah.
So
And typically, like the truck will be at Kmart, so it's like spoon, truck, and then
Dessert.
Yeah.
And then you head up to Swansboro and get olive oil.
Right? Yeah.
yeah, well, Clarke, man, we appreciate it so much. I
thanks
look
for
forward to
having
seeing where things go, and we'll be out there supporting with you.
Awesome.
The rest of the Danksters.
Yeah. Right.
Thanks a lot, man. We appreciate it.
Thanks.
This episode of the Lookout Cookout is brought to you in part by Zion Consulting, offering services in graphic and website design, software development, and business consulting. Want to take your business to that next step? Visit zioncg.com and let Zion Consulting go that extra mile for you. That's zioncg.com.
Woo!
We've
I
got-
always run up. Nobody can see this at
No.
home or wherever they're
People
listening
might
from.
hear the shuffling of feet, but that's about all.
I run up on the microphone like it stole money from me.
That got me for some reason. Welcome back, guys. Hopefully everybody enjoyed the thrilling conclusion of Mr. Clarke Merrell's interview.
If you skipped ahead and listened to the second part before you listened to the first part, definitely go back and check that out. Obviously from this episode and as well as the first installment. Just a joy to hear how his mind works and the process for everything.
Because his mind works very differently than my mind works from a business standpoint. So it's just fascinating to listen to someone with that much drive.
my thought process for a second was like, no, wait, I can kind of relate to. And no, I can't relate to Clarke. That guy has got things figured out and is just going on his own path, and I can respect that. In that sense,
Absolutely.
I can relate because I envy that to a degree.
Definitely.
It takes a brave soul to a degree to have that kind of confidence in yourself and faith in what you're doing.
Because he's
that it's
taking
going to work out.
No matter how good he is at what he's doing, it's a risk. Well, whenever you're starting a business like that, so starting a new business every year or so is just that's a lot. That's a lot to take on. So, but he mentioned several times all the people he has working for him and behind him and helping him. So that's a big deal.
The credit he gives to his team and helping him out through that whole process.
That's great.
you know, I don't want to speak for him, but I can feel like without any one of those individuals, it would make his job that much more difficult, and then
absolutely.
therefore the success not as easily attainable, I guess,
Definitely.
so to speak.
So everyone, one last time, and we'll link them on the website, of course, but websites for his businesses, for Circa 81, it is circa-81.com.
That's dash number 8, number one,
yeah,
not spelled out.
Not spelled 81, yeah. And then for Dank Burrito, check them on Facebook, Twitter. There's links on the Circa 81
I
site.
think if you go
Google
to
'em.
Google, their weekly schedule, which changes since they're in different locations
Right.
from week to week, but I believe their location.
Yeah, it shows up in like Google Events or Google Calendar
exactly.
or whatever.
It'll show you where they're going to be from day to day during a week. They change that.
Yeah,
update it.
and they're super active on Facebook and Twitter, so check them out on there. And then BeaufortOliveOil.com is for the olive oil company, and then TwistedSpoonYogurt.com is for the yogurt shop in Moorhead. So definitely check out all of those. Check out our site, thelookoutcookout.com. We'll have links to all these sites, links to our recipes, and then also links to all of our sponsors who, without them, none of this could possibly happen. We would just, once again, be talking alone in a room.
Yeah.
So big
Which
thanks.
I do as it is. So.
Yeah, exactly. So the fact that I can have a microphone in front of me now is so much better. But yeah, big thanks to them. Above It All Studios, Lookout Adventures, Zion Consulting, and Island Traders. Without them, it would really just be me and Opie kind of staring blankly across the table at each other, not saying anything. So it's great that please go check out all of them. They're all local businesses, and they're just as important to us as the guests that we have on each episode. So it's a big deal.
Yeah, summertime. It's a big time of the year for everybody in this
Yes.
area. It's summertime's when we all kind of do our business, so to speak, whatever it is. So definitely get out and support them. Go out and buy their products and hire them for your business and take their tours and
Do
however
all of the things that they offer as services and products.
And
Go pay for money for them.
And if it's their first time visiting some of these places, tell them where you heard about it.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, and if nothing else, even if you don't want to go spend money with them, reach out to them on Facebook and Twitter and everything, and just let them know that you heard about them through the Lookout Cookout, because that'll really make us look good. And don't you guys want to make us look good?
We need all the help we can get. That's for sure.
Yeah, I mean, we've mentioned it several times. We've got Faces for Radio, so however we can continue this, whatever it is we're doing here, for make it last as long as possible, that's the right thing to do.
Yeah, our hearts are in the right place at the very least. So, anyways, as always, guys, I'm Opie. I appreciate you guys tuning in.
Levi.
We'll check you next time. See you guys.